These two smartphones, the OnePlus Nord 2 and the Poco F3 GT, are the latest entrants in the Indian market and both offer a lot of promise in the exact same price segment. These smartphones also have a lot in common. They're both powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 1200 SoC, they have big batteries and both offer high refresh rate AMOLED displays. But at the end of the day, you have to pick one, right? So how different are these phones, and if you had to choose, which one should it be? Hey guys, I'm Aditya, you're watching Gadgets 360 and this is a detailed comparison of the OnePlus Nord 2 and the Poco F3 GT. Let's begin. Let's kick off with design. Both phones are designed differently. The OnePlus Nord 2 looks like a part of the OnePlus 9 series. You get an in-display fingerprint scanner and the frame is made out of plastic, but it doesn't feel cheap. The Corning Gorilla Glass 5 at the front and the back add to the premium look and feel. There's no 3.5mm headphone jack on the device, but it does have stereo speakers. The 189-gram phone packs in a 4500 mAh battery and there is support for 65-watt walk charge. The Poco F3 GT on the other hand has a metal frame that feels a lot more premium. It also has Corning Gorilla Glass 5 and you get two maglev triggers on the right side which can be used while gaming in landscape. There are latches which keep the trigger buttons flush with the body when not needed for gaming. The curved frame on the sides make it comfortable to hold the smartphone. The Poco F3 GT has dual speakers and these are high-res certified. The rear camera module has RGB lighting accents. The Poco F3 GT is heavier than the OnePlus Nord 2 and weighs 205 grams. It also packs a bigger 5065 mAh battery and comes with a 67-watt fast charger in the box. The OnePlus Nord 2 has a 6.43-inch AMOLED display with a 90Hz refresh rate, while the Poco F3 GT has a bigger 6.67-inch AMOLED panel with a 120Hz refresh rate and a 240Hz touch sampling rate. Both these devices have full HD+ resolutions and both companies claim support for HDR10+. In terms of build quality, it's the Poco F3 GT that is made of sturdier materials and feels more solid. You also get IP53 water resistance and the triggers add some versatility to the device. If you are planning on playing games on your smartphone a lot, the Poco F3 GT would be a better companion. Both these smartphones are powered by the same MediaTek Dimensity 1200 SoC. OnePlus claims the version used for the Nord 2 5G has been customized for better AI performance for its cameras and display. Let's look at the specs for each of these phones. With the OnePlus Nord 2, you get 6GB, 8GB and 12GB RAM options along with 128GB and 256GB choices for storage. The Poco F3 GT on the other hand only has 6GB and 8GB RAM variants paired with 128GB and 256GB of storage. Both these devices use LPDDR4X RAM and UFS 3.1 storage. Neither smartphone offers expandable storage, but with 256GB on board, I don't see a reason to complain. These smartphones are pretty neck and neck in terms of hardware. The Poco F3 GT does have a slight lead with the bigger battery, higher refresh rate and faster charging though, at the cost of size and weight. While both these smartphones run Android 11, the customizations on top set them apart. In terms of the UI, I prefer the cleaner Oxygen OS 11.3 interface on the OnePlus Nord 2 as compared to MIUI 12.5 on the Poco. The Poco F3 GT has more pre-installed apps and I got notifications from the Themes app while using the device. Regular usage on both devices was trouble-free. I could multitask and also load heavy apps without any issues. The Poco F3 GT has the higher refresh rate and it is slightly smoother while scrolling through menus and pages. There's no dynamic option on either device, so refresh rate cannot change automatically. The OnePlus Nord 2 has an in-display fingerprint scanner while the Poco F3 GT has a side-mounted one. Both are quick and never needed a second attempt to unlock either smartphone. Watching content on both phones feels engaging thanks to their crisp AMOLED displays and stereo speakers. The AI color boost setting on the OnePlus Nord 2 does make colors punchier and bumps up the sharpness slightly. As a result, the Nord 2 has a marginally better display quality while the stereo speakers on both these devices were on par. I had the top of the line OnePlus Nord 2 with 12GB of RAM while the Poco F3 GT I had was mid-spec with 8GB of RAM. I ran benchmarks on these two smartphones to gauge their performance. Here are the results from Antutu. To check performance consistency, I ran this benchmark 5 times and the smartphones returned these scores. I ran a few more benchmarks on the phones and here are the results. I played Battlegrounds Mobile India on the OnePlus Nord 2 5G and the Poco F3 GT, and it defaulted to HD graphics and a high frame rate on both. I played the game for 20 minutes on both smartphones, and both became slightly warm to the touch. The Poco F3 GT showed a 3% battery drain while the OnePlus Nord 2 5G showed a 4% drain. In our HD video loop test, the OnePlus Nord 2 managed 19 hours and 46 minutes while the Poco F3 GT managed 17 hours and 36 minutes. The OnePlus Nord 2 was set at its 90Hz refresh rate while the Poco F3 GT was at 120Hz while testing. In our charging test, it was the OnePlus Nord 2 that was quicker to charge thanks to its smaller battery, getting to 58% in 15 minutes and 98% in 13 minutes. It took 32 minutes to charge completely. The Poco F3 GT got to 46% in 15 minutes and 72% in 13 minutes. A full charge for the Poco took around 47 minutes. Before we look at the camera samples, let's talk about the hardware on both smartphones. The OnePlus Nord 2 5G has a 50MP primary camera, an 8MP ultra wide angle camera and a 2MP black and white camera. On the other hand, the Poco F3 GT sports a 64MP primary camera, an 8MP ultra wide and a 2MP macro camera. Both have AI scene detection and I found them to be quick to set the cameras up accordingly. The OnePlus Nord 2 and the Poco F3 GT were quick to lock focus. Daylight shots taken with the OnePlus Nord 2 looked natural and had decent details. The Poco F3 GT produced better details, likely thanks to its higher resolution sensor, but it sharpens the output a bit too much, which makes photos less appealing overall. Shots taken with the ultra-wide angle camera on both phones aren't as detailed. I preferred shots taken with the OnePlus Nord 2 since colors were more natural. For close-ups, it was the OnePlus Nord 2 that captured crisper shots with better details. I found edge detection to be good in portrait shots on both, but the OnePlus Nord 2 again delivered better results. The Poco F3 GT has a macro camera, but the output is limited to 2MP. In low light, with or without night mode, it's the OnePlus Nord 2 that shines yet again with brighter images and better details. Selfies shot with the OnePlus Nord 2 were better in daylight as well as low light, and they look natural. Selfie portraits taken with both devices had good edge detection. Video recording tops out at 4K 30fps on both these smartphones. In daylight, the footage from both devices shot at 1080p as well as 4K were well stabilized. The footage shot in low light was significantly better on the OnePlus Nord 2. Overall, in terms of camera performance, the OnePlus Nord 2 has a clean lead over the Poco F3 GT. Now comes the biggest deciding factor, the price. While the OnePlus Nord 2 5G starts at 27,999 rupees in India for the 6GB RAM 128GB storage variant, the Poco F3 GT starts at 26,999 rupees for the exact same spec. But if you are interested in higher variants, well, here's the pricing. With OnePlus and Poco both launching smartphones in the same price range with similar specifications, it was clear that choosing one wouldn't be easy. Both of them offer very good performance for the price. The Poco F3 GT has an advantage in terms of performance, scoring higher in our benchmarks. The 120Hz refresh rate along with the high touch sampling rate and gaming triggers make it well suited for gaming. It also offers good battery life and fast charging. While I think the Poco F3 GT will appeal to anyone looking to game on their smartphones, the OnePlus Nord 2 is the better all-rounder here. Its cameras offer better performance in different scenarios and battery performance was better too. In terms of design, the OnePlus Nord 2's design will appeal to a wider audience and that makes it my default choice between the two smartphones. So, which one are you gonna pick? The OnePlus Nord 2 or the Poco F3 GT? Do let me know that in the comment section down below. And as always, for all things tech, stay tuned to gadgets360.com.